Here we go. It all started with Refrigerator Perry. You know Jimmy Vaccaro on every Tuesday during the football season. He was at the Mirage at the time, looking for a way to increase the betting handle. They said, hey, well, the Refrigerator scored. Jimmy put it up. He got into the end zone, and the books took a bath on that one, Teddy.
Oh, he sure did. It's, quote, we lost our ass on that bet, but we won in the long run. That was the start of props, was literally one guy, Refrigerator Perry. And Super Bowl prop betting didn't really get to the next level until a guy we've talked about a lot on this show, Jay Kornegay, took over as the sportsbook director at the Imperial Palace. And you remember the Imperial Palace in the 90s, Pauly? What was it? Let's be honest. The place was a dump. It was an aging property in the middle of the strip that was, everything else around it was getting rebuilt and revitalized. Not the IP. The only thing that kept them open was the sports book. And I'm telling you, the IP was way ahead of the curve when it came to props. Kornegay and the rest of way ahead of the curve. And when he left the Imperial Palace and went over to the LVH Superbook, which became the Westgate Superbook, he brought the focus on Super Bowl props with him, and that's how we've evolved into this 400 plus prop situation every year in the Super Bowl.
Yes, it used to be. I know a guy came into the studio with the Green Bay New England Super Bowl. There's only like 6 or 7 pages, as we talked about last week, and now he's got over 400 at the Westgate. And Vegas has only lost twice on the Super Bowl. San Diego, San Francisco, and the first Patriot-Giant meeting. Giants when the Patriots are trying to go undefeated. Some great stories last week on the air from Jay. The props that really hurt their feelings and they got beat up. Well, what do these guys bet, Teddy? They want to bet a little to win a lot. So they're betting the overtime and they're betting the safety. And in 2 Super Bowls, the safety was the first score. The second New York Super Bowl, the safety right off the bat, Brady intentional grounding, that was 100-1. And then the snap over Manning's head to start the game in New York with the Denver and Seattle, that was 60-1. Those were some of the worst props ever for the sports books and Jay Kornegay. Also, Devin Hester. When the Bears lost to the Colts, he was, I think, 50-1 to score the first touchdown. He returned the opening kickoff. And it's crazy, Teddy, how many safeties we've had over the years. Remember how it ended in San Francisco and Baltimore? In New Orleans, final play of the game, the Ravens take the safety. It also puts the game on 3.
Yeah, I mean, the safety has absolutely killed the sports books in recent years because, again, you have the general public, there's always going to try to bet a little to win a lot, whether it was parlays, whether it was props. That's just the mentality. And, of course, the wise guys, you call them bridge jumpers in some of these wagers. There still hasn't been an overtime in a Super Bowl. Someday it'll come, and the wise guys will get clocked on that one as well. But they've been absolutely beaten up on the no safety prop. They're laying minus 900, minus 800, minus 1,000 on those type of wagers. And safety after safety after safety. But you talk about those 3 particular Super Bowls where the first touchdown of the game is a big F you to the bookmaker all 3 times, or first score of the game. Oh, by the way, here's a safety. He's their first score at 100-1. Welcome to the rest of the game. Here's Hester returning a TD. Welcome to the game. Doesn't matter what happens the rest of the way, you guys are screwed. The books can and do take a beating on some of these props. And obviously the long shots are the ones that are likely to kill them.
All right, let's talk about some wise guy strategies here.
I'm going to talk about one sharp bettor that I talked to, and I'm just going to talk about the mentality here. This is what he thinks. Okay, he likes the shortest touchdown of the game under 1.5 yards prop. So here's the thought process. Well, let's see. The total is 59. That correlates down to 7 touchdowns. 15% of touchdowns are from the 1 yard line. So that gives us a 68% chance of a 1 yard touchdown, but that should even be higher because in this game, there's more likely to be a pass interference in the end zone. Plus, it correlates with the under, and the guy likes the under in the game, so therefore this prop makes even more sense, etc., etc. These are not small thought process. This isn't, hey, Tom Brady's great, let's bet on him. This is really think it out with a lot of these props. I mean, the Tuesday groups, which I went to the meeting yesterday. One of the sharpest guys come in with all of this kicking and punting data. I mean, sick stuff. This is a guy who's going to pick off every weak number in town, literally. Goes around town and just finds it. Familiar with the numbers, the off-market numbers, he's just picking them off one or the other. So here's a guy, he said, why are the Texans ranked number 32 in touchback percentage at home? What do you care about the Texans? Well, he's not worried about just the two kickers themselves. He's worried about the field and the conditions on the field. So, we're talking about guys with six-figure bankrolls having these type of thought processes. And it's not that you can't beat them, but recognize what you're going up against. You're not going up against action junkies.
Yep, and the pros will lay the chalk, and like you said, the public will bet a little to win a lot. Can we get a photo of the Tuesday group?
All right, well, this is a rare photo of the Tuesday group. Here you go, flash it. All right, no, Chad Millman took one once from ESPN, of course, and I think that's the only one that's ever... No, Isaac Feeder put us in the movie. We were in the Life on the Line movie, the Tuesday group, but that wasn't, that was kind of staged a little bit, so not a lot of photos of the Tuesday group out there.
Correct me if I'm wrong, this is only the second year that Vegas has putting up the MVP odds, and it wasn't a good start because a lot of people bet Von Miller last year.
Yeah, at a big plus price. Now, if you look at the chart right here, you're going to see pretty much in the modern era, it's been quarterbacks. Pretty much. Brady's got 3 rings himself, but you see in recent years, you had Peyton Manning in 2007, and Eli in 2008, and Drew Brees in 2010, and Rodgers, and Eli, and Flacco, and Brady again. Now, in the last 3 years, we've seen 2 defensive players win, and the only other recent guys winning have been wide receivers. But you ask me about this game, I think it's wide open for MVP. And again, with all of the numbers out there and all the numbers available, boy, where do you find value in this prop, Pauly? I don't. I haven't found any. That's not a bet I'm looking to make.
Why do you think it's wide open? With this total and Brady and Ryan? How many guys on New England can legitimately win the MVP other than Brady? If they have a huge game and win, they're going to score points, and they got to give it to Tom, I would think, unless you get a wide receiver.
Tom's got 3 already. They don't want to give Brady more rings. They want to, if somebody makes a defensive play and gets a score that way. If Blunt gets 2 touchdowns, or Deion Lewis gets 2 touchdowns, or if Hogan has the kind of game that he had in the AFC Championship game, or Edelman has the big game. There are multiple guys for New England who could get it instead of Brady. Because remember, the guy's already got 3 of them. And sometimes there is a bias against a quarterback who has a bunch of MVP rings.
Well, let's be honest. Don't we want to see Goodell hand him the trophy? And you have to have the press conference the day after the game where they have to pose for pictures? Come on, the media wants to see that.
That would be something that would be very fun to watch. No question, Pauly. No question at all.
Dynamite there. Up next, final segment. What we like. Props to go over in Vegas. Oddball props. Wardrobe malfunctions. How many times will they mention Trump and show Giselle? All that coming up. And the play of the day on SportsBit. Betting Insight today on SBRPicks.com.
That's right, the 8th annual SBR Forum Bash will be held at the breathtaking all-inclusive Hard Rock Hotel in Punta Cana on Super Bowl weekend. Join Natalie Rydstrom and the Odds Couple as they mingle with SBR pros and have fun under the sun. Stay tuned for video coverage of Bash activities, including a $5,000 poker tournament sponsored by uwager.eu. Only on SBR, your sportsbook authority since 1999.